In my book, Spiritual Conversations with Children, Listening to God Together, I encourage adults to walk with children through prayer labyrinths or pray with them through prayer labyrinths. And this is just a short little video to give you some ideas about how to do it. So these are finger labyrinths that I have. I like this one. It's filled with flaxseed that gives you some textile response to it. And then the labyrinth is here on this side. And this is a felt labyrinth, which we made ourselves. And when we use these prayer labyrinths, it helps us get the rhythm of conversation, intimate conversation with God. And so I usually invite the children to follow me the first time through. So I use my finger and I give them an example and model what prayer, what sharing my inner life with God is like. So I might be talking to God on the way in, telling about something that happened that day or how I'm feeling about something, but I'm doing this talking with God all the way in to the middle of the labyrinth. And then when I get to the middle of the labyrinth, I take 3 deep breaths. So inviting the child to take those breaths with me, that helps to wake up the part of the brain that makes sense of our God experiences. It helps us to slow down so that we can listen deeply. There's just many good reasons to take 3 deep breaths. And if you are from a Christian tradition, it can be in the name of the Trinity, those 3 deep breaths. So breathing in deeply and fully 3 times. And then we begin to move out and we tune our ears to listen to what God might be saying to us. And we notice when we start to talk and we let those thoughts kind of go and retune our listening to what God is saying to us. And oftentimes on the way out, children will say, "Can I do it again?" Yes, yes, yes. Do it as many times as you'd like. So that rhythm of talking with God, 3 deep breaths, and then listening on the way out. And that's true with any kind of labyrinth, finger labyrinth that you make. You can make one out of wood. This one's made out of felt. You can use a marker and draw them on a piece of paper. In any one. This is another finger labyrinth that I like. It's a double labyrinth. And you'll notice that I put a little sort of a breath prayer based on Philippians 4:19. God will meet all my needs. And right here. And this is a finger labyrinth for 2. And it's such a lovely practice of being in silence with God together with another. And just a lovely way of practicing that rhythm of talking with God and then listening for response. If you have the opportunity to walk a labyrinth, there are lots of wonderful ways to walk a labyrinth with a child. And one of the first introduction ways that we can do that is just to walk it ourselves and allow the child to explore it. So they don't have to do it any way that we do it. I had the wonderful opportunity to walk a labyrinth with the child, and they wanted to do it backwards while I did it forwards. And then they challenged me to do it backwards, which was less successful on my part. But it was a wonderful, playful opportunity for us to explore this labyrinth together. And then afterwards, they asked if I would show them how I do it. And so I talked about talking with God. As we wandered those paths, what kind of things came up in my mind that I wanted to tell God about? Did I notice over the last week or for us right now, barely starting to come out of a pandemic, what kinds of thoughts and feelings have I been feeling during all this time? And it's if you're walking a labyrinth, you have a great amount of space to be able to bring those and talk about them. And then getting in the center, when you arrive at the center, and sitting with a child and taking those 3 deep breaths, even inviting the child to stay in the center as long as they need it until they're ready to move out. And just listening maybe for God's invitation to move out as they begin to walk out of the labyrinth, and listen for what God might be saying to them. So labyrinths can be used in lots of different ways. I'm sure you can come up with creative ways to, when you're walking a physical labyrinth, a great big one, that you could think about particular things in each of the quadrants and bringing those to God in prayer. It's a wonderful thing to do with children. Their spirituality is so embodied, and labyrinths give them an expression for that.